Hello, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my bathroom. I am Tatiana. I am a business coach and a mentor, and I love to encourage you to go for the things you want to go for in your life, especially when it comes to just who you are as a woman, entrepreneurship, all of the things. I am actually in the process of putting some makeup on because I'm getting ready to record a intro video for my membership Q3, and I thought I would actually talk to you all about the topic for the quarter because I think it's very relevant for anyone, even if you're not trying to start a business. I think that we all struggle with it, and so that's what we're going to be talking about while I get ready. I am not in any way a makeup guru, so if you see me doing something and you're like, what is she doing? Like, this might be an example. Look, we do what we got to do to get it done. I have like pretty much like a 5 to 10 minute makeup routine, and yeah, so that's what I'm going to do for my video. I'm going to add a little bit more since I want it to be a little bit, since it's going to be an official video for the membership, I'm adding just, I guess, some heavier makeup, you would say. But I wanted to get on here and chat with you all about perfectionism. So if that is something you have ever dealt with, stay tuned. Okay, so like I was saying, I am recording a video for the membership. This is something that I do once a quarter. I have like a little video that just kind of introduces them to what we're going to be focusing on. And perfection is huge. The theme is actually called Pace Over Perfection. And I'm so excited about it. The main point of it is to just remind people that nothing is ever going to be perfect. No matter how hard we try, there's always going to be something. And so instead of like trying to run ourselves into the ground of trying to make sure that everything is perfect, everything looks a certain way, everything is aesthetic, we're doing all of the right things, we're hitting all the right numbers, and we're doing what's expected. Instead of that, we're going to just pace ourselves. And so I have an acronym that I created for the ladies in the membership, which I will keep for them to see. But I just wanted to talk about this because I think perfectionism and entrepreneurship is huge. It's something that we all deal with, and it can show up in different ways and at different stages. I find that a lot of times for me, the way that it shows up is through when I'm doing something new. So the membership is a great example, or when I wanted to do my podcast, or when I wanted to pivot from the stationary Muse to the Inspire Blueprint. All of these different changes and things brings about this almost insecurity inside of me to where I procrastinate. And it all stems from perfection. It all stems from feeling like, am I worthy enough to do this? Will people find the value in it? Will people get what I'm trying to say? How can I make this work? How can all the bells and whistles be together? You know, and then I'm also a big person on like back end and systems and just trying to make sure that overall, like the user experience of stuff is the best that it can be, because I always want my customers to feel that way. My clients, at this point, just people that support me. I want every encounter that you have with me and my business to just feel very professional, to feel very much like you feel seen and understood in whatever that dynamic is, even if it's like a video like this, if it's a free opt-in that you get from me, if it is one-on-one coaching, if it is the membership. Like, I always want it to feel very much put together in all of the things. And so with that, sometimes I can get very caught up in all of the to-dos and the tasks, and I tend to put things off. And so with that, what happens with that? Okay, hold on. Let me pause. I'm trying to do some eyeshadow. Let's see. I'm gonna just put a little eyeshadow on just to elevate our look a little bit here. I'm also wearing this cute little dress that I'm gonna have on for it, and I got it from Target last year. I really, really love it. I have to show you guys the full thing, even though I have sweatpants on under this dress. And probably will keep them on because I'm not going anywhere in it, so it's like, why not? But what was I saying? And so yeah, I kind of had lost my train of thought for a second. So basically what I'm just getting at is that I think that's how it shows up for me, is I tend to procrastinate and I start thinking about all of the reasons why I shouldn't do something. And I just get caught up in those details because I want everything to be nice. You know, I don't want anyone to say anything negative. I don't want anyone to have bad experience and all these things that I don't want. But at the end of the day, we can't please everybody, right? We can never please everyone. Someone is always going to have something to say. This is even in motherhood. You know, as much as I want everything that I do to just be perfect and for my daughter to always be happy and grateful and excited and everything, it's like, I will break my neck to make sure that something is good for her. And then she'll be like, oh, but where's this? Or, oh, but I thought we were going to do this, And so it's like motherhood has definitely helped me as well with perfectionism, I feel like, because no matter how much you feel like you have it figured out, no matter how much you feel like you're on top of everything, your kids keep you on their toes. And I think it's the same with entrepreneurship. Like, no matter how much you feel like you have figured out the formula for something, or whatever it is, as you venture and grow into new things, there's always going to be something that you have to learn again for the first time and figure out and perfect, in a way that works for you. But the way that I ran my business and did things 5 years ago is extremely different from the way it is today. Just because my life has changed, my circumstances have changed, the business is completely different than it was. I have a different amount of people that I have of a following. And so the expectation is different. And so that leads to me wanting to do things differently. And so I think one of the main things that has helped me with perfectionism is, of course, just identifying like what part of life I'm in. I don't know why I can't get this off of this thing that well. I think that's good. It's just identifying what part of life I'm in. Just the last couple of months, we were moving from New Mexico to South Carolina. And I already knew, I'm like, okay, moving across country is going to be a pretty big feat, obviously. But I was like, oh, I'm going to be able to keep going at my same capacity. Like, I'm not going to miss a beat. Okay, I've had about 2 months of just very slow, just trying to get back to somewhat of some normalcy. And it has felt very much like, oh my gosh, I'm failing. I'm not doing what I thought I would be doing. And so just really recognizing what season of life you're in or what season of life is coming up helps with perfectionism. Because if you know that you have a packed week, then why are you going to put 50 to-dos on your task list for growing your business? Why would you even do that to yourself when you already know that it's not realistic, it's not going to happen? Why would you do that? So just understanding where you are is very important in your life. I think to just always and realize that even in a season where you're feeling comfortable now, it's not going to stay that way. Those are some huge lessons to learn. We are going to change. So even what you thought you were interested in last year is going to be different than what you're interested in now. And that is okay. Okay. And just if anyone is curious, I use a lot of Fenty products. So I have Fenty. This is, what is this? The Blurring Skin Tint. This is kind of like the lighter weight one. I do have the heavier one in there, but I just really like the lighter weight one, the way it looks on me. It's kind of got a sheer finish to it. And then I use the concealer as well. This is that Pro Filter concealer in the color 350. And then this is in the color 17, I guess. Again, I'm not a guru. I don't even know if that's the right thing. And then I have the lip bar. I love the lip bar as well. I'm use their eyeshadow palette for my eyes. And then I'm also going to use a little bit of their bronzer as well. This is called Just Got Paid, and this is called Fairy Princess. It's cute packaging. And then I use the Anastasia Brow Wiz. Been using this for years. The Fenty highlighter, which I'm getting ready to put a little bit in the corners. And then I use this little NYX concealer to just kind of line my brows. And then I'm going to use this e.l.f. blush. So I just wanted to share that. And then my brushes are Sonia Kashuk, and I got them from Target, I think last year or the year before. They're like 1 or 2 years old. Okay, so I wanted to just share that because I thought, like, just in case, right, we'll get our little guru on for a second. Okay, so anyways, so that's definitely one of the first things I would say. Also, I will just put it out there that, like, no matter how much we try to do everything just right, something will happen. And I don't say that in a way to be like a negative Nancy or anything. I just say it in living for a while and just understanding that something is always going to happen. And the quicker that we can accept that and be open to that, the better off we will be when we understand it, because it's not a reflection on who we are. I mean, that's like literally you didn't do any work for something and then you're just expecting it to all fall into place, but you didn't put in any ounce of effort. Then okay, yes, then okay. But if you know that you put your all into something, you're super passionate about it, you're giving it everything you've got, but you know that you just don't know everything, you can't foresee the things that might happen, just knowing like, okay, I'm going to give myself some grace in this, I'm going to go for it, but I know there's a chance something can go wrong. I remember when I did my first, it was one of my very first, I guess, like webinars on Zoom. I had never done that before and I didn't know how it was going to go. And I went for it. You know, I tried as much as I did. I tried to research. I watched videos. No, actually it wasn't. No. Let me backtrack. I did my very first live series. It was with guests on this YouTube channel. You can actually find it. It was the Live, Love, Inspire Woman series, I think it was called. And I did so much research, y'all, to try to figure out how to have guests live. This was back in, I think, 2019 or 2020. And I had them on there and I did all this work and figured it out. And there was still glitches. There was still stuff not working properly. No matter what. And that has happened with a lot of things where I'm like, oh, I got everything. Even like when I do these like opt-ins or free challenges and stuff, I think I've pressed all the buttons and everything's working. And then something happens. Someone's like, hey, this button's not working or this link is broken. And it's like, you know what? I've just accepted that like I'm not going to be perfect, because I used to beat myself up about those things and just be like, oh my gosh, this is so unprofessional and all of this. But it's like, I'm just one person. It ain't no team. You know, it's no one else I can blame for stuff. And so I just have to realize that like I'm one person. I am a whole person. I am not just this business. I'm also a mom. I'm a wife. I have myself to worry about. I have friends. I have family. So I cannot always be 100% in all areas at all times. And so there will be some things that slip through the cracks. There will be days when there's no hot food on the table. Okay. There's going to be days where I'm just looking kind of however, you know, because I just haven't had an opportunity to get fashionista like, right? There's going to be times when I haven't talked to my friend in a couple of weeks because life has just been hectic. And so when you remove that shield of feeling like everything has to line up and be perfect in order for you to be the best version of yourself or to just look a certain way, when you remove that, it's so freeing, because then it's like, okay, I'm okay to make mistakes. I'm okay if everything does not happen exactly the way that I thought it would. With launches and stuff, I've had launches that have gone very well. I've had launches that have not gone so well. And at the end of the day, if I know that I put in as much work as I could, I did my due diligence, then the rest of that, I got to just give it to God, right? I can't be beating myself up about it, because then what will happen, that perfectionism, it will lead to you then not wanting to do anything in the future. Because now you go from, okay, well, I tried it, it didn't work out, so now I'm not going to do it again because I don't want that same feeling to happen, where now I don't want that same feeling to happen where I feel like I'm putting in all of this work and nothing is happening for me the way that I expected. Or, you know, I put in all this work and nobody purchased. Or I put in all of this work and then somebody had a negative comment. Like, I hate getting negative comments on this channel, but I realize that it just comes with the territory. And I'm like, you know what? I'm glad they actually commented at all, right? Because there was a time when nobody was commenting. And so you just have to kind of reframe the failures, I guess, in a sense that you have. Like something crawling on the window. What the heck? It's a fly or something. I do not like bugs, y'all. But just reframing failures, I think, is important. And first of all, not even really looking at it like it's a failure, but more so like it's a lesson that you're learning, and understanding that this is just part of your journey. The failure does not mean stop. The failure does not mean you're not good enough. The failure does not mean that you are not being called or you misunderstood. I mean, in some cases it might be, you know, I'm not going to say that it's always like we always do everything that's for us, because sometimes we don't. But in most cases, when you are giving the effort into certain things and you're putting in the work and you know you're passionate about it, a lot of times it's just part of the lesson. I think if everything just worked out perfectly for everyone all of the time, stuff would be kind of boring. Like, people wouldn't have testimonies. People wouldn't have these interesting stories and things to share to encourage with one another if everyone just always had everything work out. Like, what would it be if I got on here and I'm like, oh, well, perfectionism and entrepreneurship, I don't deal with that. everything works out for me. All of my launches always go well. I sell out all of the time. I always hit all of my goals. My videos are always skyrocketing and going viral. Like, if I always said that, not only would it feel very unrealistic, but it would also just be very boring, like there would be nothing to really say other than just like, oh, and I did this and I did this. It's like we have to have some struggles. We have to have some things to work through so that we can do better the next time. Because, I bet you my bottom dollar, my bottom dollar, whatever the saying is, that those mistakes that I made back a couple years ago when I first did that live, they're not happening now unless it's something out of my control. I definitely have my process down, but I had to learn those lessons and go through those challenges, whether it felt embarrassing at the time or not. And now I'm able to be a professional in that area. I'm able to help other people not do those same things. And I'm able to just be less stressed about going live. Like, going live to me now is just like going downstairs and making a sandwich. Like, it's a very easy process, and that was not how it felt when I first started doing it. And so that's with everything. So I guess to just sum this point up, I would just say reframe your mindset around failing, because a lot of times that's what we don't do things for, because we're like, oh, I don't want to fail, or I don't want people to see me fail. I don't want people to see me mess up. But that is really inspiring to see people, come up from adversities and things that they faced, and that they're able to come out stronger and they're able to come out on top. That's the stuff I like to watch. I like to see the underdog come up. It's nice to watch people be successful and stuff, but I can't relate to that because I know that that's not my life. That's not my truth. And so this is just me reinforcing to you that that's probably not your truth either. And that doesn't make you any less than anything. It makes you human. And I guess that's really the last thing I just want to say is that we're human. No matter how hard we try to do everything right, we're human at the end of the day. And if you have people that don't understand that, then they're just not your people. If you have people that are criticizing you or whatever may be going on, then they just may not be for you. Because I know for me, when I make mistakes, even like when I launched my website back last fall, as much as I went through, tried to make sure everything was spelled correctly and all of that stuff, there were still some typos. There was still some stuff that was not correct. And as much as I could sit there and beat myself up about it and like, oh my God, you missed this and all that, I'm like, girl, it happens. I thank the person for letting me know. The fact that, again, that there was someone that cared enough to let me know. I reframed that. Instead of looking at it like, oh, this looks so bad and all this stuff, I'm like, you know what? I have somebody that was thoughtful enough to reach out to me and let me know. And now I'm going to go rectify it. I'm going to fix this situation and I'm going to move on. And so that is how I really just face entrepreneurship head on, is just knowing that things are going to happen and really just getting to it. So, and just realizing that I'm human and I'm going to have these things happen, but it is nothing like seeing, just to wrap it up, it's nothing like seeing the hard work that you put in and then looking back at your own journey of just realizing like how much you procrastinated due to perfectionism, how much you put off, like the amount of time that you wasted, the thoughts that you had about what you were doing. And then when you look back and you see how much of a little blip that was in the bigger picture, first off, and then you see how much of a waste it is, it just becomes a muscle that you work for the next time to be like, you know what, I'm not even going to waste this much time the next time that this happens, because I already know that it's going to be worth it in the end. I'm going to get an outcome that is beneficial to me, whether I'm learning something, I'm growing, I'm making an income, like there's going to be something out of it. So there's no need to waste any more time. And so with every time I try something new, even though I'll be like scared and I won't want to do it and I'll fight with it, I'll give myself a little time to do it, but I'm a lot quicker to just act and do what I need to do, because it just wastes time, and time is precious. There's people out there that need to hear the message that's been placed on me. There's people out there that will benefit from this product that I'm working on. And so it's like, the more that you realize that this is just a muscle and that it's going to keep happening, it doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter what level of your business you get to. You will always have this feeling of like, wanting to just not do it because it has to be perfect. But with that, it comes people just sitting on ideas for many, many months, many, many years, instead of just going for it and learning and getting in there as you go. Like, it is so much more value in just doing it and learning. We're not saying I'm not promoting putting out sloppy work or anything like that. But I feel like if you're watching this channel, you're not a person that would do that anyway. And what you are sitting on is probably just fine. It's just what people need. It's what you've been praying about. It's what you've been hoping for. God is waiting on you to say yes and to just do it. But you have to finally take that step. You have to be ready to pace yourself. You have to be ready to choose pace over perfection, right? And understand that you're going to have to take small steps to get to the end result that you want. It's not all going to happen overnight. It's not all going to look exactly the way we picture. And there will be some bumps along the way. But as long as you know that you can wake up in the morning and say like, oh, yesterday I made a little bit of an effort towards my dream. Yesterday, I started working towards this thing that I know that I truly want to do. Last week, I really made a good effort and I put my all into it, even though I was scared. Like, to me, that's the stuff that really builds a strong entrepreneur and someone that is going to stand the test of time and be able to pivot and change and just stay consistent through it all. And so that is why, okay, you knew I was going to get to it. That is why you need to join us in the membership. For Q3, it is all about pace over perfection. You'll get to learn a little bit about what the PACE acronym is, get tons of support and accountability. We have some amazing trainings that are going to be taking place in this quarter as well. There's going to be a video masterclass, which I'm excited about, and I'll be teaching all about just how to edit video, create video content. We also have a guest training from my good friend Shalina, and she's going to be talking about tailoring your focus, which I think is extremely important when it comes to perfectionism, because sometimes we can be focused on so many different things and then just our identity just being wrapped up in all of the things that we have to do. Like, I'm so excited for hers. And then we also will have a launch training as well that I'm going to be teaching because the holidays are going to be coming up towards the end of this quarter. And so we're going to be working through how to really set yourself up for success with holidays and beyond, to really learn how to launch effectively in a way that will benefit you through the holiday season, your new products and things you're trying to do, whether it's a product or a service or whatever it may be, because people are doing a lot of different things within the group. So it's not all just product based, and it's not all about stationery. It's so many different types of businesses, and we have trainings that are general for any business. So I just wanted to make that known as well. So come join us. On top of that, we have connection calls like our planning and strategy session and our accountability and co-working sessions. These are the sessions where we come together. We have time to have, just like we have uninterrupted time where we can get things done, and then we come and we converse and support one another, pour into each other, ask questions. When I tell you, this membership is just such a gift to me and those that have been a part of it, and I want you to be a part of it as well. So definitely click the link down below if you would like to learn more about Pace Over Perfection and how to join the membership. If you have a question, feel free to comment down below. And lastly, this was a good conversation and I want to keep it going in the comments. So please, please share your thoughts on how you overcome perfectionism or how that looks like in your life. Maybe how it stopped you in the past. I know it has stopped me many times. It made me question things before. Let's keep the conversation going, and I will see you all in the next one. I'm actually getting ready to go record my video right now, but I appreciate you joining me and being a part of this conversation of perfectionism, because it's something that we all deal with. Again, even if it's not a business, like, we all deal with perfection. And so I would love to hear from you. So I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.